spooky when you pulled it out.
We're live now, brother.
Welcome to the greatest Colloquium Captus in existence. I'm here with the Triumvirate of Terror. Almost forgot Ray's call sign. The human calculator with the numeric. What was that?
It was the glasses.
Oh yeah, I didn't know you were here.
It was Clark Kent for a minute.
It's the human calculator with the numerical nomenclature. Had to burp. Excuse me. Raytron Uno Dos Tres. The man with a plan, the ultimate Nas fan, the electric jolt, E to the J, and the strongest man in the universe, he who guards the guardians, Vanguard.
Rides again.
Rides again. I forgot that part. You reminded me. So what you guys been up to?
Making shit smoothies, apparently.
Shit and actual ingredient?
Well, I finished my magnum opus. I'm complete.
Wait, one more thing. I just want the audience to know that when he pulled that out, my immediate reaction was, what the fuck is that?
Could have just been drinking some oatmeal, bro.
Yeah, you gotta understand from our perspective, man just pulls out some giant mug with brown stuff inside of it. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you drinking, bud?
Yo, it's good for you. It's good for you. It was good for the outsides. It's good for your insides, right?
Those mud pies. You probably made mud pies when you were like in preschool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done that in my life.
I made a mud pie before.
You look like you made a mud pie before.
You look like you made a mud pie.
What's that supposed to mean? I don't like that. I don't like that.
It's supposed to mean what it's supposed to mean.
What was your magnum opus that you finished?
Oh, so a long time ago, back when Comic-Con was still a thing, I bought the perfect grade of the first Gundam I ever brought, and I completed it today. So now I have like the really large version and the really small version of the same.
As soon as you said long ago, my first thought was a foolish samurai warrior.
yeah, that's what I was going for. Long ago.
But that's great. That's great. Always good to have your hobbies, I feel like, as a dude. Like, and I mean like productive hobbies. Like hobbies like putting gun. I feel like if a hobby engages your brain in some way, then it's a very useful hobby. Like, I feel like, if it's like some hobby where it's like you just sit there watching anime all day, I think it's a little less productive than like
it's funny. I was
drawing
watching Yu Yu
something.
Hakusho the entire time.
Yeah. I don't know, but that's actually great. I do that shit too. You put something on in the background, and it just makes whatever you're doing flow that much easier, which is weird because people talk about how in order to enter flow, you got to be completely focused. But I feel like I'll put something on, especially if it's funny, like some funny podcast, like just some people talking. And I'm kind of pay attention to what they're saying, but not really. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm focused on what I'm doing. Yeah. Like it works. It helps me focus. It helps me lock in.
Yeah, like what was it, yesterday? No, Saturday. Like I got really got into the mood when I was like building the thing, right? Like I had the Yu Yu Hakusho going, I was building it, and I was just like, this is it. I don't want this moment to end. Like I am content right now. Then I had to like stop and go do something. I was like, man.
Yep.
Oh,
see, I can't put... Oh, go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
I was gonna say like the thing I stopped to go do wasn't even fucking worth it. I went to a comedy show, right? Bro,
oh yeah,
it was this man's first comedy show, and he literally gets on stage and says, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not a stand-up comedian. And I was like, oh my god. My man's really got on stage, and he was like, all I know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get drunk, and y'all gonna get drunk with me. So he's literally just on stage. He brings out 2 6-packs. Not even 6. There were 12 packs. And he just starts chugging beers. He gets the audience to start chugging beers. He gets like fucking...
New?
I don't know him. It was just like... He was like a random Instagram guy. I thought it was kind of funny. And he was like, yeah, I'm doing a comedy show in New York. And I was like... The tickets were cheap. So I was like, oh, let me go see a comedy show. Right? And I thought... Because like I saw his skits. And I thought his skits were funny. But I thought he was going to come... And
you
like,
brought someone with you?
Yeah, I went with like my boy Chris. The different Chris. You guys didn't meet him. Well, no, you
Shout out to
met
him.
him.
I've met him. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're sitting there and we're like, what the fuck? Like we're sitting there laughing, but not at what anything he's saying, just like the situation and how we ended up here. Like the ordeal was funny, and we just happened to be sitting next to the only other colored people in the area. And after the show ends, we look at each other and was like, "What the fuck just happened?" And no, bro, they even they brought up the fact that it was like, "Yo, this is genius. He just fleeced all of us. I need to figure out how to monetize whatever the fuck he just did." It was great.
Those white people probably thought that shit was hilarious.
Oh my god, they were having a blast, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. White people have like
blast.
white people have some of the worst sense of humor on the planet, man. Like it's just white people, like especially on Instagram. I'll sometimes end up on these Instagram, and you can just tell who's white and who isn't. You can tell when you're looking at a meme page. You can tell if it's run by a white person and a young white person, because like it'll be like some dumbass meme with no context. It isn't that funny. Like I guess the idea is that it's random, and in the comments will be a bunch of people saying other random things that they also think are funny. And I'm just looking at this shit like you niggas are you niggas are goofy.
GGSS, bro.
Yeah, GGSS. Like man, they really think that random, oh so random humor is so funny.
I mean, so Random had 2 different shows on Disney Channel, so it clearly works for somebody.
I mean, yeah, that iCarly level kind of humor, they never grew out of it. Like I've tried to rewatch older episodes of iCarly, and that shit is
It's
chore.
difficult. It's difficult.
Sure, yeah. I'm like, God damn, I was watching this shit as a kid.
Well, like I don't think when I was watching it, I was like I enjoyed the iCarly aspect of iCarly. I enjoyed like the show overall, right?
Yeah. No, but even then, I rewatch. It isn't as funny as I remember it. But the newer episodes is where it's like a little bit funnier. Like they have their running gags and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the show really finds its footing later. You get what I'm saying?
I like the character arc of Gibby, where he slowly starts becoming really depressing.
Yeah, I remember me and my sister loved his little brother. Happy birthday! Hey, want to know what's funny? The kids I work with, some of them are mentally challenged, and they do that shit. They just say happy birthday to you for no reason, just like Gibby's brother. They'll look at you. They'll be like happy birthday. They're like, oh hey Gio, happy birthday to you, and they'll just start singing it. They'll start singing me happy birthday for no reason. It's kind of adorable. Those kids are.
I was gonna say, when Ray was talking about Yu Yu Hakusho, I was gonna say that I couldn't put that show on as like just for background noise because I'd be stuck watching it. Like when a show is too good or it's something that I like too much, I can't use it as a distract or not as a distraction, but
Ray's probably
focus on
seen
my
it
main
enough times.
task.
He's probably seen it enough times that he doesn't have to,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with both. Like if it is a show I do generally enjoy like greatly, I can't do that. Like I talk
Even
about
if
that
you've
shit all
seen
the
it already,
time.
right? Yeah, even if you've seen it already.
Like especially like if there's parts of Yu Yu Hakusho where let's get into like a good part where I'll just like look at it and I'll like, focus on it. I'm like okay, but like like when it goes back to like some of the low moments, like right now in the Dark Tournament arc, when they're just in their room chatting, I don't need to look at the screen. Like, I don't need it, and I'm watching it in dub, so I don't need to like read subtitles.
Yusuke in the tunnel trying to get that orb.
Yeah,
What is it? It was
yeah.
like this.
It was wrong.
Yeah.
That's all it is for like 2 episodes, 3 episodes. You're like, oh my god, this hurts. Why did I do this to myself? It's funny, bro.
I can't just be like focusing on a whole different task. Like, all right,
I probably wouldn't put a show on. I just like I said, I just use podcasts. Sometimes light music will help, like instrumentals. But then even then I have to be careful. Like one time I put on metal instrumentals as I was writing. And that shit had me writing like I was playing piano. Like I turned to Mozart. I was like and then it was funny because I noticed how it was affecting me. I was like, I usually do not write like how I was writing. Like I was like going mad fast. Like I was like alchemy or some shit. To the music. It was the fucking music that was carrying me. And even what I was writing, the music was affecting it. Like it was very
Exhilarating.
wordy. Huh?
Exhilarated.
Yeah, like what I was writing was very like it was like this flurry of description and stuff just melting into each other. It was almost stream of consciousness. And it was like crazy language too, very colorful and crazy language.
Mm.
But what was I gonna say? If I tried to put on like Man of Steel or some shit, I would not be able to focus. Because like especially when you start getting to the part where Zod, well, the fights in that movie are great. First of all, some of the best comic book movie fights ever to this day. Then the final battle between him and Zod, there's no way I'm looking away from the screen when that shit happens. When they're knocking each other around the city, these niggas they fly into space fighting each other. Like think about that. They fly into space and hit a fucking satellite, and then Zod throws the satellite at him, and it falls to Earth into meteors. And I'm like, have you ever heard of a fight like that in any comic book movie since? No.
Oh no, because everyone's like, Man of Steel fight bad. So they're like, yeah, all right, let's not do any of that.
Yeah, I was like,
But,
to this day, I just think about that. How Zod threw a fucking satellite at him. I was like, what the? He threw a satellite. What were you gonna say, Ray?
Well, I feel like if you're gonna pick a show, it's kind of like when you like you said, you throw on a podcast. If it's more of a maybe like a comedy where it's like just like they like say stupid stuff all the time, and like you can like deal with that, or like you can't like do a plot heavy show. Like I couldn't throw on Detective Conan. I couldn't do none of that. Right, like Detective Conan has like 1,000 episodes, but I couldn't throw it on because they'd be like, you want to like reveal my secret plan? I'd be like invested. I'm like, I want to know the secret plan. What's going on?
I done seen this episode a couple times, but I forgot.
No, I watched the first 100 episodes of Detective Conan like 4 times because every time I'm like, yo, I'll get past 100. I get to 100. I'm like, I'm so tired of this show, bro. Let me stop. Yeah, because it's the same show. It's the same thing over and over.
Bro, I done seen the first arc of Bleach multiple times, bro. Swear to God, I put that on while I'm cleaning. House not getting cleaned. We'll be glued to that television.
Bro, the retrieval of Rukia arc is peak. And then
once I hear that music come on, it's a wrap.
And then you don't go back, but it's whatever.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the topic now before we start talking about anime for 3 hours.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we start, can you put on I want you guys to check out the Flash trailer, and we'll.
Oh, your blood. Where is it? Is it in the materials?
Nope.
Oh, well, I'll just look it up.
Yeah, the official version should be up. I want to see your guys' reaction.
Live reaction.
And it relates to the topic, sort of.
Does it really though?
Yeah, once I get explaining, you'll see.
That man looking funny in that thumbnail.
Who looking funny? Flash?
Not Batman.
Tell me something.
Oh, wait, I forgot to show the audience.
Sorry about that, yeah.
All right, here we go. Ready? Oh, that's the wrong one.
Why did you show them your porn collection instead?
Oh yeah, I accidentally. Hold on, to make it a little bigger. There.
There, yeah. That's the spot.
Wait, are they hearing sound?
Another time.
Can you not hear the sound?
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Another universe.
I hear it clearly.
Oh, okay, it's fine.
Now it's louder.
Yeah, I turned it up.
Fight to save this one. Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again.
That's really selfish.
And they recasted his
Time
dad.
has a
But I mean,
pattern
it's understandable.
that it can't help reliving.
Our boy running like
Different
that.
people, different
Why'd you
worlds,
say it? Yo, why'd you say
drawn to each other like magnets.
That shit was goofy, bro.
You should have seen him in the first version of Justice League. He looked even goofier in that movie.
My face. You stole my face.
You know what's
Ezra Miller
weird?
is still
I
still
didn't
know
think
it.
they looked the same. I was like, these are two different people.
You have no
Yeah, I
idea
feel the
what
same
the
thing here.
consequences can be.
Different.
Bruce, I could fix things. You
No,
could also
they did not do
destroy
that to the ring, bro.
everything. This can't be happening.
Yeah, I wonder why it needs to
I
open.
completely broke the universe. Zod.
We've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
Go.
Oh. You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Why? I just wonder why you were looking at. You look like the chat meme or something. That's it.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not
Was that supposed to be
be
cool?
a future.
Yeah, I was just like, that's just free feet, bro. Oh, gross.
Yo, you have a weird thing.
What's
with
the
feet.
play?
You need help.
What do we do?
We try not to die.
Yeah, it's Supergirl. There she is.
It's not quite.
Watch there be no complaints about her being a murderous psychopath.
I'm
We're Barry.
Oh, I mean, I guess it can't be skinny Superman, right?
Yeah, that's the role.
Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
That was corny as fuck. I don't know why that stupid ass joke was in there. Like that shit got me so mad. Yeah. So what'd you guys think of that?
I mean, I'm not watching that. I'm not gonna watch that.
Look
You
cool,
said
not gonna
watch it
lie.
on the internet, right?
I still won't watch it, but look cool. The trailer.
Damn, this man really gonna just sit here eating his Chipotle and not give me none? Damn.
That's Chipotle?
Nah, you already eat too much, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You set that one right up for me. You handed it to me. That
I
was a
didn't even
layup.
eat today. You remember
Yeah,
the joke that Patrick used to make? He was like, "Oh man, look at me, I'm famished," and like zoomed in his body. It was kind of gross. It was the
But,
chocolate episode.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Anyways, it looks all right. Ezra Miller is still annoying as fuck as usual.
Yeah, no, I'm not
And a
gonna lie.
pedophile.
Like I heard, I was listening to his voice. And I was like, "Yo, bro, like I don't hear any stakes right now. Like there are no stakes in a voice like this." I'm just like, "Yo, this, just fix it, bro." What's
Michael Keaton looks like he's gonna do a cool job. Like his reaction felt very Batman-ish to me when he was just staring at them, like totally unimpressed kind of reaction. The snark was on full display when he was like watching them.
He
You
didn't
be
care
like
how they
his
got into
Batman,
the
too.
Batcave though.
What was that?
He didn't care how they got into the Batcave.
Because we'll find out. I don't know.
You'll find out because I'm not watching it.
You're gonna watch it.
Look,
You gonna
unless
get
someone
pulled. You gonna
is
get
like,
pulled. Yeah, you gonna
unless
get
someone
pulled
is
in.
buying my ticket, I'm not gonna watch it. Like,
Yeah, you're not gonna watch it in
Yeah.
theaters, but you're gonna watch it.
look, if someone's gonna put it on my TV.
You gonna watch
'Cause
it?
I'll never forget this man right here talking all that shit. I remember Justice League came out, right? He's supposed to watch it with us. I wake up, this nigga watching it with some girl. I was like,
Justice
this
League?
fucking goofball. Yeah, the new one. Remember the Snyder version? I woke up and like, how we plan to watch this together, all of us, me, you, and Jay. And this nigga is sitting there watching it with some girl. She asked me to. I was like, what the
I
fuck?
honestly don't remember you asking me to watch it with you guys.
Man, just go ahead and log yourself off. Is it?
I mean, I'm,
Yeah, because like I'll never forget that. Because I woke up, I look over and see him watching it, and he's like, "Oh, see, I told you he was gonna be mad." I was like, "We planned it together. What the fuck we're not?"
Yeah. When it gets to gray.
This nigga, man. And you watched Captain Marvel, so
No,
you
I
gonna
didn't.
watch it. Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Man, Ray don't
Look,
remember
you
any of
said
this
to
shit.
watch
Man.
a video longer than the movie about it.
Yeah,
That's
while I
even
was at
worse.
work, it was on the background.
That's worse. That's
It
worse
was
than
it was in the background. I didn't look at it.
That's worse than watching the movie.
Oh man.
What we was watching?
No, but thankfully you didn't watch it because, like I said, that movie made me want to kill myself, unironically.
Jesus.
I didn't want to turn my TV off. I'm not even joking. Like that movie was so annoying and boring. I was like, damn, like I'm not. It's not like I wanted to end my life, right? But I'm sitting there. I'm like, it wouldn't be a bad thing to just not exist right now. Like if I just died right now, it wouldn't be a big deal. Those thoughts were actually going through my head. I was like, yeah, I didn't have to watch this movie. And then I felt the thoughts creeping into my head, and I was like, why the fuck am I thinking these thoughts? I was like, is this the anti-life equation or something?
Oh, that's a reference no one's gonna understand.
Yeah. So that movie was goofy. And then I got the girl at work when she's talking about that movie. First of all, her review of the movie, I'm saying the movie sucked, right? And this is how you know someone only likes a movie because the idea of it. She can't describe why the movie is good. She's like, oh, it was a good movie. It was good. It was good. But they can't name why it was good. Nothing about it. Just saying it was a good movie. And I'm literally listing why the movie was lame. I'm listing all the reasons why I thought it was stupid. And then we got into an argument. This is going to be real nerdy. All the people watching are not going to care about this. But we got into an argument. I was like, yo, and the thing about like where Kevin Feige was saying that Captain Marvel was stronger than Thor. I was like, that's goofy and that's stupid. And she was like, oh, but she is stronger than Thor. And I was like, okay, maybe in the stupid ass movies you can make that argument, but even then, I don't think so. But I was like, she's like, no, even in the comics. And I was like, this bitch. I was like, Thor. I was like, you do not know anything about Thor. I was like, please. I was like, Thor is God tier powerful. Man is Superman level. Man, yeah, he's literally a god. Man is Superman level. Probably even stronger than Superman, to be honest. But, or at least he should be. But, Superman. So, yeah.
Yeah, bro, you'll be stronger than Superman, and Superman will beat your ass. Seems like I had to. I'm Superman. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, bro, I had to. I'm Superman.
That plot armor.
Yeah, plot armor. Superman is Goku. He has the greatest plot armor in all comics. He's not as bad as Batman, but he's damn near as bad. Like the shit Superman is capable of is ridiculous.
That's why you said that, because people who like Goku gonna come for you, bro. Come for you and say how Goku trained so hard for all his power. I'm just like,
yeah. So did Superman.
No. If you want to say Goku trained for his power, that's cap. It's cap. It's cap.
Yeah, that's Super Saiyan. He ain't trained for that Super Saiyan 3. That was off the cuff out of nowhere. He pulled that shit out of nowhere.
Look, all of Goku's training is trash. Like the whole idea that this man is training to get any of his power is bullshit, right? Cause it's just arbitrary, bro. Like Frieza was like, oh yeah, I trained for a month and I got as strong as these Saiyans. I was like, what? And then Goku goes and does a few more push-ups. He's like, well, now I'm stronger than the guy who can fucking pause time. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
What?
He different. He the chosen one.
I mean, hey, Yujiro Hanma is fighting severely harmed. Shit. Yujiro Hanma is out here fighting 100 armed guards.
And no one said anything about that.
No, but it's just like
no one says anything about
that. The reason I'm okay with I don't even mind the goofy shit. But if you're gonna sit here and try to tell me that it's not goofy, that's when I'm just like, all right, now I'm gonna have to point out to you how goofy this is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know how Baki fans are, but when I was looking in the comment section, they didn't seem like they were taking it that seriously. Like they were, talking about his power scales, but they seemed to have fully accepted that this was not reality. Like some of them were saying that. They're like, who gives a fuck about the real world? This is anime. And I was like, oh, okay. That's actually
But like them Goku fans who act like this shit is real. Like this is real fucking life. Like it's like, yeah, bro, if you went to the gym as long as Goku did, you'd be strong. It's like, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro.
No. It reminds me of One Punch Man when he revealed his training regimen. And the other heroes were like, that doesn't even make any sense. They were like, that's just normal.
Yeah, like, that's some basic shit. And bro, and it's of course it's a joke. So it's like, yeah, like I didn't do anything special to get this strong. Yeah. Right? And people who will watch One Punch Man will see that this nigga Saitama has never once tried ever in his life, and be like, Goku will beat his ass. I'm like, this man did shit that Goku did when he was like on his last breath by accident, just cuz.
And that's even disregarding the fact that the little premise of the show is that he cannot ever lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Goku,
Imagine being
Goku wins
so
everybody. So
imagine being so far out of touch with reality that you out here saying that like these niggas probably really think Goku could fight God and win. They probably would really
yo,
be like,
they will power scale God right now.
That Super Saiyan God level exists, bro.
They will power scale fucking Allah. They will be like Goku. Bro, there was a joke about that. There was a fucking fucking reel I saw where they're like, "Yo, praise Jesus," but can he fight Goku though?
Actually, I saw another one.
Who did Goku fight in the death? You guys seen death battles, right?
He
I
fought
forgot who
Superman.
they had
I
him
think.
paired against.
He fought Superman.
Did he win that?
No.
In
In fact, they did it twice. They're like, yeah, a bunch of y'all were mad, so we recalculated it, and Goku lost even worse this time.
Superman is like crazy powerful. Like there was a version of Superman who punched the barriers of reality and sent ripples throughout reality that reshaped everything.
Yeah,
And that's how hard
Flashpoint,
he was
Superman did it
punching
first,
reality.
bro.
Fucking huh? What was that?
Flashpoint, Superman did it first.
Yeah, Ultraman squinted so hard he saw another reality and
That's
told
the
him let's invade
shit.
it.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's another. Yeah, like Superman is insanely powerful for no reason. But let's get into the topic at hand. So, people, of course, are very excited about this Flash nonsense. And that just got me thinking, about how there are many distractions in this world. And the biggest currency coming up right now is your attention. And I really feel like if you can learn how to like focus and weaponize your attention, then you pretty much have a superpower because no one else these days knows how to fucking do that shit at all. What do you guys think about that?
Trying to think about. Yeah, can you read that? Because I feel like you said a lot there.
All right, I'll say it again. There are many things in this world that are very distracting, right? So many distractions all about us in terms of entertainment, news, politics, so many things. And right now, I think the primary superpower going into these next few years, next few decades, to be honest, is attention. Attention is like going to be a powerful currency going forward into the future. So if you can learn how to control and leverage your attention and learn how to focus, how to control your mind, then you pretty much have superpowers compared to everyone else. What's your take on that?
I mean, I generally do feel that like once you are truly focused on something, you can like accomplish maybe not anything, but a lot more than you realize you could, right? Like when I sat here and like built this Gundam, like it was not a simple task, bro. This shit actually took me days. And there were times where I looked at it, I was like, I really don't want to do this. But like I said, like I threw on the Yu Yu Hakusho, I sat there, and once I started, like I really like gained focus, and it didn't feel like such a heavy task anymore. Like it didn't become an ordeal. So really, like if you can just like focus on something, you can just accomplish so much. You can accomplish so much so quickly too. Like I can sit here and like you remember being back in high school and you're like, damn, I gotta type a fucking 5-page essay, and if you really didn't want to do it, it would take you forever. But it would take you forever. But then if you were like, damn, I have an hour before school, type that shit up like that, bro. You're ready out the door. It might not get you no A or nothing, but it's done.
Yeah, cranking out that last minute paper, man. That was a skill, man.
And that's really what you got to do is figure out. When I say control your mind, because of course there are some aspects of your mind that you're not going to be able to control, right? Some aspects of your being that aren't under your control, but there's a lot of you that is under your control, or at least you can direct yourself in a certain direction. And part of it is like doing stuff like what Ray said, where you're like, okay, I got to take the choice out of my hands sometimes, because if I have the choice, I might choose to do the thing that is easier. So it's like, I'm going to make it automatic, or at least make it easier on myself. That way I actually complete the thing that I want to do. So in Ray's case, it was thrown on that Yu Yu Hakusho so he could stimulate his brain a little bit as he's doing the thing he wants to do. Some for other people, maybe it's like setting these alarms to remind them of what to do, when they got to do it, maybe putting up some fucking sticky notes, just doing what you got to do to like get your brain fixated on that thing you want to do.
I was gonna ask you about you made a point about attention being a superpower that you leverage. Are
Yeah.
you saying when you were saying attention, are you talking about um the attention that you're getting from others, or are you saying the attention
I mean,
that you're putting towards different pursuits?
I mean to be honest, both. Like
Okay,
other
because I
people's
was kind of
attention.
confused in which way you were
I
going
mean, I
with that.
didn't. Well, I meant it initially in that your attention, like being able to cut through the fat
Oh,
and
okay,
have
gotcha,
laser focus
gotcha,
on the things that matter to you.
gotcha.
But in general, yes, because when you look at the Kardashians, that's literally what they did, and they started that shit. They started the fuck. Well, actually, before them was Paris Hilton, but going into the internet age, the Kardashians really fucking mastered gaining the attention of other people, and they turned that shit into a fucking business. And it's like now all these other TikTok people are trying to do what they did, but they wrote the blueprint for that shit. They
Yeah,
fucking and when I was a kid, of course, I used to hate on them and think it was stupid. But then when you get older, you start to realize hmm, you're like you're like, damn, these bitches are more powerful than the president. It's like, you're like, God damn, they shape reality. It's like it's fucking crazy. Like
yeah, because
fucking
it was making me think about forgot his name. He was some music artist. Uh, he was doing an interview and he said something about us being synonymous to like a character in a movie, right? About how in real life we get to design ourselves, right? With the clothes we wear is like the costume, that character, like he was making all these comparisons, and he was saying something along the lines about what you were talking about, the attention aspect, and how people are going to be seeing us, right, wherever we go. It might not be on a on a celebrity type of status, but it's like the attention that we're getting from others. It's like with the image that we're showing them, what are we putting out there? What are we showing them, right? And what do we want that image to be? uh and I guess in some way we kind of, some people underestimate that I guess what you were saying, a superpower, but the effect that that image could have, even just on a smaller scale, right?
yeah.
You don't really know how impactful, I guess, the way you project yourself, and what that could mean for for someone that comes into contact with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of the opinion that you should be like water, sort of. Like
Yeah,
you shouldn't really be too concerned. Like you should have general like, you know, say virtues that you embody, that you try to put out there. But it shouldn't be too specific. And you should be able to adapt and fill in spaces as they come to you. It's like you should be less concerned with trying so hard to be a specific person and more concerned with embodying like general values. That's the way I see it. And I feel like because man, it's like people are gonna see what they want to see for the most part. And it's like
and
if
that's
you
that's
embody
what that's what makes me think about that, because it's like, yeah, I get to pick my image, but should I care,
no,
what people think of it, right? Like,
no,
uh should I, like, to a degree you care depending on
yeah,
who the person is, but you don't want to design yourself, um or maybe some people do. Some people want to create an image that's based off of, what someone might think of it.
yeah.
But I don't know if I really operate that way.
I mean, seeing it like what he said, I could see it from the other perspective, from an inward perspective, where it's like he's right in that you're kind of designing yourself. So if you put that inward look inside of yourself, what values you want to embody, what kind of life you want to live, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff, you really can write that shit like you're writing a book, like you're building a character profile.
that's what he
Like
was saying. Yeah.
you can do that. And like you don't have to be too concerned what people think of it, because that's me. Like I do not give a rat's ass about what other people think. I get a lot of pushback on things too. Like one of my jackets had a tear in it, right? And they're like, "Oh, you should get a new jacket." You know, so I was like, I don't want one.
That's
They're
part of
like,
the character of the story, right? Or the
yeah,
movie.
you know how many times I've literally
Rip the
told people
jacket.
that? I was like, I actually like when my things look worn. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, I just like it. I said it just gives me a
Yeah.
cool aesthetic to me. I was like, I just like that kind of stuff. It's like if I have a jacket, I like when it has a little bit of like fraying or something like that. I was like, it just looks cool to me, you know? Like even when I was watching Desperado and everything has this kind of like dusty kind of film to it, but they still look cool. I like that kind of shit looks dope to me, you know?
Yeah.
um but yeah, it's like I noticed in my life as I narrowed my focus and only focused on certain things, like the things I cared about, the values that I wanted to embody, and like the more I removed things from my life and narrowed my focus, the more free and like fucking like godlike I began to feel. Where it's like nobody could get in my head, nobody could make me feel anyway. Because like many people have talked about this too, because it's like at the end of the day, and heck, even the 19 Keys guy kind of said this. At the end of the day, all that matters to me is if I embodied the values that I think are like of utmost importance. Like he said,
Yeah.
looking in the mirror at yourself and thinking you did a good job is all that matters. Because you can have 1,000 people patting you on the back, but if you don't think you did the right thing, you're still gonna feel like shit. Because like even when like I remember there would be people who would like I remember speaking to you guys about this many times, where I said people would say to me all the time, "Oh, like I'll talk about how there were times where I wasn't feeling as confident, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, really? Because to me, you seem like the most confident guy ever." And when they would say that, it didn't make me automatically go, "You know what? Maybe I am confident," and then like turn to
Yeah.
Superman or anything. I would just think in my head, I wonder why the fuck they think that. That's all that would do. I'd be like, why do they think that? Because I don't feel that shit at all. Like what they thought of me did not matter to me, you know? Like good or bad, to be honest. Like, of course, good matters a little more. Like when someone gives you a compliment, you might get a brief, tiny dopamine spike.
Yeah,
But
but you don't see that as an opportunity to fit into that. Like, all right,
exactly.
well, they say I'm confident, I guess I'm confident.
Yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
it doesn't align with how you see yourself, and that's takes
Especially if it's
precedent.
yeah, especially if it's like a vague ass compliment like that. Like I think I
Yeah.
remember we had this conversation where I was telling you how
Yeah, it
like
doesn't do nothing for you.
yeah, yeah,
Say someone's intelligent, they're confident, they're
yeah,
bright.
intelligent,
Yeah,
confident. Because I was like, what does that even mean?
yeah.
You know, it's like,
Those are
And they'll
just those
say
empty
it at the most
compliments that
random
people give
times
each
too.
other.
Yeah.
It's like,
what
oh,
were
you
you
just
saying
met you.
again?
Oh my god, you're so nice. You're so blah. I was like, bitch, you just met them. How are you saying any of these words?
Yeah,
And then it makes you think like about them and their judgment because it's like, damn, this is your bar for intelligence. Like I said this, and it makes me intelligent, or you barely know me and you think I'm nice. Like, is this your standard? It's a low standard.
hmm like the speaking well thing. People hear how I speak, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're smart because of the way you speak," and I'm just like, "You guys don't know." Like, it's,
Yeah,
I've met people who are the most well-spoken people on the planet, and they were fucking retards. I'm
Yes.
like, they're-
Yeah.
like they were dumb as fuck. And it's like I remember saying this to you, EJ, where you were telling me. I remember you were complaining to me once, not complaining, but like talking, like I'll say venting, like venting your personal thing to me. And you were saying how sometimes you feel like you're not well read enough. And I remember saying to you, I was like, I've met
yeah,
many people who were well read and knew all this shit, and they were still fucking idiots.
yeah.
I was like, they'll still say really stupid shit. I was like, you're like, to be honest, you were a lot more intelligent in our conversations than many of the people who I met who thought they were the most well-read people on the planet.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
never even
you
liked that in the
still
first place. Because, like, what does it mean to be well read? Like, what are you reading?
Well versed.
Like, what are you reading, though? Like, you reading some shit that some other guy wrote? Like, that's it? That's it?
yo,
That's
yo.
it?
You're literally touching on something I was just thinking about the other day. I was on a train thinking about that. I was like, why do people think reading like a bunch of philosophy books makes them smart? I was like, one, it depends on how you interpreted what the person said. And I was like, ultimately, the person who wrote it is immortal. He's fallible. His book could have been bullshit. It's like it doesn't mean you're
Yeah.
smarter.
So
Because you read his book.
so I don't know. Like it's always so weird to me, especially like
I
especially back
think,
when
I
you're
think
younger.
people are surprised. I think people are surprised by that though. Just someone having, like, regardless of how they interpret the information, just having a lot of it, being aware of a lot of it. I think that's what people get their credit for.
Bro,
Not
I have a
really
lot of
how
information.
they
It's all
how they
useless.
decipher that information.
Information is useless, bro. Like you can have literally all of the information downloaded into your head right now, but if you can't do anything with it, it's useless.
Okay, I guess you can say that. Yeah, information by itself.
Um,
I do think
Yeah, like
information.
information by itself is useless.
but most people won't even take the time to get the information or to like pick up a book and read up on a Socrates or Aristotle or
or
uh
even worse, they spend all their time collecting the information, like Ray said,
yeah.
and don't do shit with it.
And it's
I
like,
think that's worse than not even going after it.
and like I can't look down on people for not going out of their way to look up that type of information because honestly, in their day to day, it's not something that they need right now, right?
It's a pretentious task anyways if you don't plan on doing anything with it.
Exactly. Practical information is the most important information, the most useful. Like, even there was a whole Sherlock Holmes thing about this, where like Sherlock Holmes, despite how intelligent he is, there are certain basic facts that he didn't know.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
didn't know anything about constellations or any of that shit because it never impacted him. He never needed that stuff, so he didn't know anything about it. He only knew information that he needed, so like directly like related to like his cases and that kind of stuff, and like some bits of history, but like other like more abstract and esoteric pieces of information, completely lost on him. He had no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
And that fits into narrowing your focus. Like I think that's a part of it where you can't get caught up sitting there trying to collect every bit of information on the planet. You know, what were you saying, Grace? Were you about to say something?
nothing. Something just happened on my screen. I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
You can't get caught up trying to find every piece of information on the planet or even being distracted because information in itself can be a distraction. There are a lot of ideologies out there that are very distracting and meaningless. Like, heck, I was even just having a conversation about this on a YouTube channel where they were talking about conspiracy theories, and someone said something that kind of flew over a lot of their heads. Because the thing is, people try to say conspiracy theories are idiots, but that's actually not true. Like there is actually information, or not information. There actually have been like studies demonstrating that lots of conspiracy theories are actually more intelligent than your average person. Because, and that's why they're conspiracy theorists. They have good pattern recognition, so they see a lot of patterns that may or may not be there, right? And basically, conspiracy theorists, because they're so obsessed with finding the answers to things, when something doesn't make sense or there seems to be a hole, they can't just accept that it's random. In their heads, they now must make a pattern and figure out why that thing is the way it is. And what I was saying to these people is I was like, a lot of conspiracies or things are designed in order to like keep you distracted, where they know, like, and they is whoever you want them to be, right?
Mhm.
But they know that if they pump out enough stuff, pump out enough anxiety-inducing material and news events, and leak out little bits of information, they know it's going to send people into a frenzy. They know there are certain kinds of people who are very paranoid and suspicious of that kind of stuff, and they want to keep you in a state of anxiety and you know at the risk of sounding very woo-woo, low vibration. They they know what that shit's gonna do. So they pump that kind of stuff out on purpose. Like a lot of the time when you think you've caught the government, they wanted you to see that shit. They know what they're doing. These things are called psyops. They do that shit on purpose. And it's a real thing. Like people don't know about it, but like the government literally does this. They will leak things. Like there was just this guy, man. This shit's gonna blow your mind. There's this fucking conspiracy theorist, right? And it's alleged that he was being fed information by government fucking agents who were trying to worsen his already like crippling mental health. Pretty much they were using him to discredit conspiracy theories in general. So they would feed him false information to make him look crazy so that people wouldn't believe in other conspiracy theories. These are the things these people do. This is why it's important to maintain your
Very
focus.
manipulative.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Very manipulative.
It's their job.
Yeah, it's their job. That's why it's very important to control your focus because, like, I
Mhm.
remember I was talking to Ray about this. A lot of these issues, it's like they don't even matter. Like, they get you concerned with something that doesn't really matter, that has no impact on you, that you don't even know about. They trick you into thinking you know about it by giving you some easy reader version, and you go out there having arguments with other people who don't know shit, and you guys are just yelling at each other for no reason.
I
And
mean,
it's just a waste of time.
think about the so-called Matrix. Like, say we do live in a simulation. So what? Now what? All right, we live in it. What's next? What are you gonna do? How do you get out of it? And you can't, right? Like, you can't get out of the simulation if we are in one. And if you are in a simulation and you being free means you can do anything, it's like, why can't you just do anything here, right? Like, there's just so many like questions you can go down the thing, right? But like, that's not the questions that they're asking. Those are not like the ideas that they're like proposing to you about being in a matrix. They're just like stuck on the surface levels. Like, we are in a matrix. Like, reality is a simulation. Like, they're not dealing with like what's next. Okay, right? Like,
And their solution to getting out of the matrix is embedding yourself further into the matrix. So it's like, how do you get out of the humdrum matrix of working your 9 to 5? You work even harder. It's like that's how you escape. I mean, it's like what? Like
I was
I
gonna
do believe. Go for it.
no, I was gonna say on the topic of like collecting information, right? Like the useless information. Um for me, like when I do it, like being like just reading or anywhere I could pick up information in different subjects like philosophy or science, whatever it may be. Um it's not I'm not going into it uh from a pretentious standpoint. Like I want to get all this information so I could flex it and use it in an argument or show how much I know. And I feel like that's the problem when people go about getting this information because it's like they look at it like tiny collectibles to help, to help, improve any argument or even for them it's just more of like a search for truth, right? Where it becomes like they're looking for the next thing to sweep them away and redefine their belief system. For me it's just more of hearing the information because I find it interesting to see all those different perspectives that people have on the world, like the Nietzsche's or even what's his name? Um Emerson or David
Schopenhauer.
Thoreau or Schopenhauer. Like I like how people come to these different conclusions and like what their explanation is as to why they came to that. To me, that's just an interesting thing that I like to do. It's not for me to go and see, all right, let me see which one of them is right or which one do I identify with. I think that's what a lot of people try to do. They try to find which one to which one is going to convert them or which one they're going to find that truth or that meaning in. And I think that's where you see that's where the issue lies mainly. That's what I was just trying to say. That's where the issue lies. People go into it with the wrong intentions.
I don't think anyone goes into it with a specific intention, and I only say that because, like, if you think of the most pretentious person you know, they don't think they're pretentious, right? So, like, I don't.
Yeah, they don't think about it that way.
So it's not like I
But
can't say no one goes in with
deep
those
down, I
intentions,
think
right?
deep
I feel
down they
like
know that though.
most people don't go into
I,
it with those
I feel like
intentions.
outwardly they won't say that shit. They won't admit to it, but deep down they're like, yeah, like let me be this well-read individual. It's almost like a badge of honor for them.
Like I said, like it might be
Yeah.
for some people, but
I think it is for many people, to be honest. Because
Yeah.
the first thing people do as soon as they get their hands on some information is try to
Yeah.
throw it down other people's throats. So, but I mean that's part of I think of like controlling your mind and controlling your focus. It's like people are so obsessed with trying to find, like you said, the one true ideology or
That
whatever
ties everything together. Yeah.
that ties everything together without realizing there's actually good bits of information scattered throughout everything. And sometimes you can create your own comprehensive philosophy by picking certain things from certain sources. Because I mean, even you look at someone like Nietzsche or even Schopenhauer, but like Nietzsche specifically, a lot of his belief system were picked from earlier philosophies, and he would like take what he thought made sense, and get rid of the stuff he thought didn't make sense. Like he had his issues with the Stoics or whatever, but he borrowed many Stoic principles, like that kind of thing. But no, people are so obsessed with like it's like they have to think in extremes. They can't realize that it's like something can be true, something can be partially true and have wrong parts within it. Or it can be what do you call it? False, but there's little bits of truth or still bits of relevance within that are worth looking at, you know?
And
Like yeah.
and I was gonna say, I remember when we went to back when I went to McCarran Park with you, and I think I was telling you this there. It might have been another time, but like even when it comes to getting into arguments with people, my approach mainly depending on what the argument is, but for the most part, like I don't try to convince anybody that I'm right.
Same.
Um, I for the most part, I like to hear what somebody has to say, and whether or not I agree with it, I just like to hear that other side. It could be dumb as fuck, could make no sense at all, which will reveal a lot about that person. But I like to give somebody a chance to express themselves, because even if I don't adopt that, that kind of thinking right away, I could at least sit back and think on it. Like, all right, well, why is it that it makes me try to put the pieces together in my own time? Like, why is it that someone like him comes to this conclusion? And it's the same way why. I mean, it's the same reason why I would, like I said, pick up a philosophy book and read about the different concepts and why they believe this and what's their rationale defending it. And to me, it's just you become more well rounded when you familiarize yourself with all these different perspectives instead of instead of going right away with trying to cling to one, right? Like trying to get all these different perspectives together and then make your decision. But people want to just go to the first thing they hear that sounds, oh, that's interesting, or that sounds sensible. So to me, it's like a research, but also like a fun process.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I actually think arguing with people is probably the biggest waste of your mental energy and your
Yeah.
time and anything. Like I try my best not to argue with people. Sometimes I still do it. Usually when I'm bored. That's what I'll notice. If I'm bored and don't have anything to do, sometimes I will get into random arguments with people on the internet. Or if I thought something was really dumb, sometimes I can't resist. But for the most part, I try to avoid arguments. And like I will try and talk something out with someone, and they start to get really combative, and I can see that like they're not very bright and they don't know how to have a conversation. I'll just stop or just like concede and let them have it. 'Cause I'm just like it's not worth it. Because
I've definitely done that a few times where I was like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
yeah, yeah. Because it's like the thing is, I mean, yeah, Nietzsche has talked about this, and so many other philosophers. Oh, Nietzsche talks about it more specifically. But I feel like it's the mark of a weak person if you walk around trying to convince people of things all the time. Like it's just like if you don't have any other power in your life or any other source of confidence, I guess, or pride, other than trying to convince other people of things, I feel like you're a pretty weak person, and that like you must concern yourself with changing the minds of others. It makes me think you don't have control of your own life or your own mind, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I always thought it was weird when I was do you just go around trying to tell people things?
Yeah.
I just didn't get it. I was like, what was the point? You know?
Yeah. Like even when I will get on with arguments on the internet, like I mean, when I show Ray these screenshots, you can see from these things that I'm not even trying to convince the other person of anything. I will say something, and whether or not they agree with it is whatever. The only parts where I'll actually argue back against them is when they'll like insult me or something, and I'll point out to them like you're making personal attacks for no reason. I just point out to them how that makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll really sit there discussing with the person. This happens to me all the time when I do this stuff. I'm discussing, and the other person is arguing. So the other person is calling me stupid. They're saying the stuff I'm saying is dumb, and I will literally go do the whole thing, not making one personal attack, and they look like a fucking idiot by the end of it. Like everyone is like thinking that I won because I didn't try anything. I wasn't trying to win. I'm just gonna say these things, and sometimes I'll do it because I'm like, someone else will see this and it will inform their experiences, and maybe there'll be something here that they find interesting. Because even I like you said, EJ, I sometimes enjoy reading through other people's stuff, or like I'll see random people writing something on the internet. I won't agree with it, but like there'll be bits in there that I think are interesting, like you said, and I'll think about it. And I'll actually deeply consider it.
I mean, even where like arguments I've had that's not on anything like really political or serious, but just on some things that I like, right, or really enjoy. And I know that if I get into an argument with a person about it, they're not gonna make me not like what I like or not love what I love. But to me, it's still interesting to hear their perspective because maybe I could walk away from that encounter and be a little bit more objective when I factor in what criticism they have. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
maybe I didn't account for that. Like, maybe they did have a point about this show that I overlooked, and it forces me to dial it back and really look at what they're saying.
You know what's
Um,
funny?
and not you don't just lose appreciation for something. Like I'm not gonna go through a whole full 360, but I will at least dig deeper as a result.
But what I was saying is, it's funny is because like you can tell the kind of person, like you said, you tell the type of person like when you have these kind of conversations, because you'll bring up like a criticism and people will just be like, "Yo, why are you hating?" And it's
Yeah,
like, "What?"
Oh man, you know they're
He's
having me
like,
the other
I,
day.
I bring out I bring
it's
up
how you
one
it's how you
thing
deliver
and he's like,
though.
"I'm
It's
a
how you
hater
deliver that.
now."
It's how you deliver that though, because you could tell when somebody has like some spite in there or like some kind of
Yeah, like look, you
the
can
place
tell
is
when
coming
someone
from.
is actually hating, but I would be like,
Yeah,
"Hey, why, um, why did that one person do this one thing that didn't make any sense? Like it like they had this thing in their back pocket the whole time, and then
yeah,
they brought it out like 6 episodes later, act like it was some big secret. And I was like, nah, like, you just haven't been using this the whole time. And then people would act like you're crazy, like, oh man, you're nitpicking, you're a hater, you're reading too
yeah.
much into it. I was like, bro, but if it was supposed to be this big reveal that he had the thing in his back pocket the whole time,
Like
why didn't he use
prime
it
example.
any of these other situations when it had been useful? Like, if you
Yeah,
Prime
cannot give me a
prime example.
reasonable explanation, it's kind of a hole, right?
Prime example. Like I love Bleach, and that shit has so many holes in it. Like you could just count them on one hand, or probably need more multiple hands,
One,
multiple hands,
that's crazy.
multiple hands. But nobody is gonna make me love that show any less than I love it. Like I'm still I recognize those holes, but it means so much to me that I'm not gonna just be like, yeah, yeah. Well, everything they said makes sense, and now I don't like it anymore. Like I'm still gonna I could come to terms with that, but what it the feelings that it gave me or provided me still overcomes that. So
Hmm.
I can still be objective about it and realize, okay, maybe if we're making a list or if we're putting some comparisons together, and if we're looking about if we're judging it by a certain standard, then yeah, like of course there's objective quality, but when it comes to something that you have maybe a personal connection with, maybe there's some sentimental emotion beyond it, or just something that you have, you always had interest in, that's not going to waver because somebody made a good argument. So I think that's where people need to be able to make that separation. Like you could still weigh it against something objectively, and doesn't mean you have to like now you know abandon any type of uh love that you have for it.
Yeah, I mean that happens to me at work where it's like I'll mention something even about society or like let's say some fiction, and they'll start acting like I'm a hater. They'll literally say those words, "You're a hater" or "You're
You're a
hating."
hater,
And
bro.
like, I just listed stuff that I thought was dumb. Like I was talking about Loki the other day, and I said one of the things about Loki that made no sense to me. I was like, they claim they're building a universe and everything's connected. You get to episode 1 of Loki, and the first thing they show is that the Infinity Stones are these useless trinkets for the TVA, and it doesn't matter to them. And I'm looking at that, I'm just like, you do realize like half the universe died thanks to these things, and
Useless
literally one of the
trinkets.
Avengers sacrificed his life trying to do this. Another one literally died, like the fucking gem was removing. I was like, this thing like impacted the lives of your main characters in this universe, and here you are just completely disregarding it
They're useless
and acting
trinkets,
like
bro.
there's just useless trinkets.
Yeah.
I was like, that's weird. I'm saying to the person, I was like, that's an example of bad writing. I go, that's not bad writing. You're just what are you saying? They said that's not bad writing. You're too complicated. Like,
You're too complicated for a multiverse series that spans multiple movies, series, comics.
Yeah.
You're too complicated. That's crazy. That's a
I was
crazy
like, if you're
statement
making
to
a
come out.
universe and you don't have any clear rules or power scaling, I was like, power scaling is one of the most important things in creating a universe.
Yes, it's
So
my
if your
biggest
power
problem
scaling
with
is
Dragon
fucked-
Ball is the power scaling.
Yeah, it's like if your power scale in your universe is fucked, it fucks up the story.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it hard to buy into the story if the power scaling is fucked.
Like one of the good things I thought about Yu Yu Hakusho was it did not matter who Yusuke was fighting. If someone got hit with his spirit gun, they were getting knocked out. Like they were dying. And they were just like, yo, look, the spirit gun is a really strong technique. It is one-shotting anybody. There's like very, very, very few people who take a hit from the spirit gun and stand back up. And most times, like, he uses the spirit gun, they either dodge it or deflect it. And they're like, holy shit, if that hits me dead on, I'm dead. You know? And it makes for an interesting story because, like, they're not just like, all right, he's going to spam spirit gun this entire fight. And then, you know, who knows when the last one that hits will take. It's more about like, all right, now I'm watching to see how he lands his spirit gun. Because Yusuke comes up with some real fucking weird tricks, bro. Like, when he was fighting the 4 Sacred Saint Beasts, he put his shoes on his feet. And they were like, because the guy was electric. He had electric powers. He's like, are you really thinking your rubber shoes are going to stop me? And, like, he, like, blocks with his rubber soles. And the guy, like, fought him head on because he's like, this guy's stupid. Let me show him how stupid he was charging the spirit gun inside the shoe. And he got hit with it. He was like, oh, I see. I'm the idiot. And then he dropped that.
Yeah, or even in that I think it was probably before the Spirit Beast. When they were doing all that training and that mini tournament to become Genkais.
Yeah, it was before the Spirit Beast.
Yeah, before that, when they were doing that and they were going through the rounds and the fights that Yusuke was winning wasn't off of like sheer strength
right.
or power.
That was after the Spirit Beast. It was right after.
It was after?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember one of them was they had them fighting in a dark room. You couldn't see shit.
Mm-hmm.
And this man was able to like light a cigarette and catch a glimpse of the guy. I forgot what happened. And then land the blow.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. Shit
Yeah.
like that.
He was like, I can't see. Put the cigarette on the guy. He was like, now I can know where you are.
Yeah.
Looking for the faint light.
And this is gonna sound like some rep shit. I really feel like when you can control your perception and control your attention, it really is like some anime shit where you just become capable of stuff, like Ray said, you never thought you could ever do. Like there'll just be some strange things where if you just think in your head, I'm doing this.
I just thought about that for a second. Imagine having to square up with a guy in pitch black darkness, bro. I just
I'm not doing
That's
that. I'm not doing that, bro. That's a one-way ticket to death.
Yeah. But
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, really like what you pay attention to, what you fill your mind with, really does control like the flow of your life.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you're constantly watching negative stuff, and it's not to say you should never like
watch negative stuff.
Yeah, it's like I feel like if your life is more, if you're thinking more positively than negatively, then you're gonna have more of a positive existence. I don't know. Do you guys agree with that?
For the most part, but you got people that be thinking positive when they're really like you got those people that are optimistic, like the overly optimistic, but not in the sense that you don't believe in the optimism. They're literally just in a shitty situation in their lives and they need to do better. Like, yeah, Tom's gonna get better, but it's like they're not putting in no active effort.
Yeah, it's like an optimist
to make that optimism come true. It's just more like, with every dog has his day. My time gonna come. Like, nah, your time not gonna come, bro. You about to get evicted, bro.
yeah. No, you definitely have to put an effort to have those good days.
But you got people that have like preaching this funny, weird optimism, and they're like in the worst circumstances. Like, Shit is terrible.
Yeah, that's just another form of apathy if you think about it. Because like you can be apathetic in both ways. I mean, there are some people who actually thrive in negative energy. There are some people who are like that. Not everybody needs positivity to focus.
Yeah.
Um, you got people like David Goggins. Man lives a very dark existence, right? I mean, I don't know if he's playing a character. Maybe he's playing a character, but
I
yeah,
mean, he did. He was in the military, so
yeah,
he was conditioned to think a certain way.
yeah, he thrives in hot water. Like that's his thing. Well, cold water for him. Well, and Harlan Ellison, where that other writer said he's the only living mammal whose natural environment is hot water. That's what the person said. Because like there are some people who can, move forward and use negative circumstances to push them forward. Although everyone has their threshold, right? How much they can handle. But I feel like it's more about having a balanced view where you can look at something, objectively note that it's negative. Like this, like a situation like this is a negative situation. This situation sucks. But actually, no, don't even think it sucks. Go, this situation is not optimal. Like this is not a situation I want to be in. But then you're like, but this situation will pass, and I'm gonna do these things to make it pass. Like I'm gonna do these things to
Yeah.
get myself out of the situation.
Yeah,
I think
I think that's the best place to be in because you got the ship drowning and you're talking about somebody gonna come save me. Nobody coming to save you, bro. Like you gotta start thinking about your plans. Like the house
Or
burning down. Somebody gonna come and get me out. No.
Or if you're on that ship dying, just be like, well, I guess I'm gonna die. I'm gonna just calm myself down and enjoy the last few minutes I
Yeah.
have.
Could do that too.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does depend on your situation. Because, I mean, there was
Yeah.
that one guy who
using
survived
as
for 3 days
metaphors.
underwater, right?
Yeah.
That, bless that
Oh,
guy.
that story was crazy.
I didn't mean in terms of an actual ship drowning. I meant more like that life is
Yeah, I know, but
it's sinking. But
I
it just
agree
brought
with
that
Ray.
story to my head.
I think what Ray said is great though, where it's like, yeah, it's a situational kind of thing where there are some moments, or if something really doesn't fucking matter, yeah, sure, have the whole happy-go-lucky thing. Like if you walk up to a girl and ask her for her number, and she deads your shit, that shit doesn't really matter.
yeah.
So sure, go with the whole you win some, you lose some, and just walk away. Like it doesn't really matter.
The stakes aren't that high at that point, but when
Exactly.
when
The
they're at
higher
its
the
highest,
stakes
yeah.
yeah, the higher the stakes get is when you now have to be like, okay, there's a creeping sense of realism here. Let
Yeah.
me care a little more about it though now. You know? Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's like part of it is you can't get too distracted by your negative circumstances and your negative thing. Like you can't be thinking like you got to think in terms of solutions to your situation. I feel like you can like when I say optimistic in terms of how you're thinking, that's what I mean. In that when you're in a situation, you're thinking that there is a way out. I just have to find it, you know? Like you're always looking forward, like the Robinsons, always moving forward. Like that old mantra. That is my mantra right now. Yeah, remember? Keep moving forward. Wasn't that what he kept
I'm gonna
saying
look it
in the
up
Robinsons?
because I don't know if that's the exact phrasing.
That was such a good
I think
movie. I want to rewatch that
Meet
movie.
the
That's something like that.
Robinsons.
he said.
Yeah, that was a great movie, man.
It's something like keep moving forward.
I'll let you know right now.
Because I feel like that's the ultimate life philosophy. Like
Yep, keep moving
no matter
forward.
like that is it?
Yeah, keep moving forward.
Yeah, keep moving forward. Because like no matter how many shitty things happen to you, there's gonna be more. There's more shitty stuff is gonna happen. And then those shitty things are gonna pass. But you know what isn't gonna change? You're gonna keep having forward momentum. You're not gonna travel back in time and re-experience that shitty moment. No, you just gotta keep going. There's nothing you can do. It's like some things you're gonna be able to fix them. Some things you're not gonna be able to. You're just gonna have to write it out. But you just gotta keep your eyes locked forward.
I was
Keep
gonna
your
say,
eyes on the North Star.
what is like your piece of advice or suggestion for like the topic at hand that we're talking about with controlling your mind? Like how would you get or advise someone to do that?
Well,
It was a
see,
good way of
one thing
doing
I don't like about a lot of modern psychology and science is they seem to really push this idea that you have no control over your mind. And I just feel like there's enough information out there to show that's false. Like I disagree with a lot of the scientists who kind of try to push that idea that like you're not really self-aware. Like there's some scientists who say this. I disagree with that because I feel like you see so many examples of people who are definitely it's like David Goggins. Look at the shit that man does, which is very strange. Look at what these Buddhist monks can do. Some of them can literally control parts of their brain that they shouldn't be able to. Like this, like come on, like
See, I feel it's more of there are certain things that's going to happen regardless, right? Like if you feel
I guess
pain,
the
you're going
yeah.
to feel pain. But I feel like your
oh, yeah,
reaction to it afterwards is something you can control, right?
yeah. But I was gonna say, in controlling your mind, one of the things I think is like one meditative practices. So like meditation can help, but not even just meditation in itself. Like you have to have things that you do that maintain your focus. Like maintaining your focus is going to be hard if you have nothing to focus on. So you got to have. I feel like you got to have not only your main thing that you're focused on, but you have to have smaller things that build up to that focus, like little
Yeah.
things to keep your mind like a. They kind of like help with cleaning your mind, like little tools, like writing a little bit every day, that kind of stuff. Those kind of things. Just like even like what Ray does puzzles, that kind of stuff. Keeping your mind alert and awake will help maintain your focus for when you need it, when you really need it to focus on those big projects. If you're never using your brain, never like utilizing it, at least to some capacity, then it's going to be damn near impossible to utilize it when you really need to utilize it, you know?
I
Um,
think I think David Goggins was speaking on this actually, and I saw a clip where he was like, uh, the low moments or when you get hit with some type of struggle or adversity. He was saying that basically what Ray said, the reaction of the outlook part, because many times people get hit with that, and the pain is so severe sometimes that the default response is to retreat or to shift or to like run or to go hide. Like if let's say something happened to you at work and somebody was talking to you crazy, and now you don't want to go back to work, or now you want to punch the guy in the face or get into it with him, or you want to quit your job, and so and you might have legitimate reasons to do that, but it might not even be a situation like that it was that bad for you to do that, but it just feels so intense in the moment that you want to give that intense reaction back instead of just picking up where you left off and being like, I'm not going to let this person affect me, and I'm just going to keep on going about my day. I think that's the like that he was describing it in sort of like a certain amount of time where you process that intense emotion. I think he was like, saying from like 30 to 60 seconds or however long it takes, and you had that conversation internally like, hey man, like this person is not going to affect or overwhelm the level of determination that I have to focus on what I focus on. I'm not going to let that overpower that. And when you come to terms with that, and when it happens again, you're able to triumph over it instead of letting it weigh you down or causing you to make a rash decision that you'll probably regret later.
Yeah, it's definitely about your reaction to the things in front of you rather than the thing itself. And sometimes, like the Stoics like to say, the obstacle is the way. So there might be some situations where the thing you're scared of, you kind of have to face that shit head on. You have to move forward through it. Like you can't just keep backing up all the time or retreating. Like maybe that situation at work, maybe it's you've been putting your head down too often. Maybe you actually do have to say something to that person
Yeah.
to get them to stop doing that thing. There
It's
are
like
some people,
I got the bigger fish to fry mentality. Like,
yeah,
yeah, like this is small in comparison to my larger plan or my larger pursuit, right?
yeah, that as well. And then there might even be like this thing is part of that path you're trying to get to. So it's like, for example, right? Um, we'll always go back to talking to girls because it's one of the most relatable things for men to think about, right?
Or
You want to talk to
heterosexual man.
yeah, heterosexual men. Um, or you know what? Actually, we don't even say we're girls. We'll say you want to talk to other individuals. Hey, who knows? Maybe you're gay. It doesn't really matter. Free to do what you want to do. Let's say you want to talk to people, because I'm sure gay men have trouble wanting to approach. I mean, I'm sure they have
You
a lot of
could just be
trouble.
having trouble getting friends, bro.
Yeah, it must be real fucking hard as a gay dude trying to find other gay dudes. Like,
No,
because
son.
you guys,
Yeah, in this era?
no.
In
Here,
this era?
I'm gonna say why, right? you're trying to find. I'm not saying gay dudes just to be your friend, but imagine like out there in the like we out there. We try to talk to women. Now
In the
imagine being
wilderness.
gay and trying to find another guy who's gonna be down. Like that must be pretty hard if you're not in like a gay club or something.
Hey, you'll find a way. You'll find a
You'll
way.
find a way.
Anyway,
Yeah, trust me. Let us try to let us give us a week to try to find a dude.
A week.
Anyways,
you want to take that up? You want to go find dude?
ask Rev. Rev will do it. Rev will do it. Rev does not care. Rev will be like, oh, a new. Rev will be like a new mission. Not just
A
Rev.
challenger appears. Oh
For Rev,
man.
that'll be a new milestone. He'll be bragging about that shit. He'll be like, I slide so much, I slide on niggas.
Yeah, I hear him saying that shit, bro. I hear him saying that shit.
Yeah, but anyways, when you're talking to women, right? Sometimes you gotta actually embrace the things that you're scared because like so many guys want to just be the Casanova. They want to walk up to the girl and just be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And
That's me.
fucking-
That's me.
yeah, they wanna fucking what's his name again? The Hollywood handsome guy. Ah, fuck, with the white hair. He was in Ocean's 11.
Brad Pitt.
No, Ocean's 11.
Was he in that? I never seen any of the oceans, bro.
But
Only the
the
Pacific.
lead guy.
Wait, they're on Ocean's 11. I remember Rihanna was in Ocean's 8.
He was in Batman and Robin too. What's his name again? Damn.
I
I only know the
names,
Pacific
know
Ocean,
who this
bro.
is. We were just watching him in Miami. He was in that movie with Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez.
He's like
Man,
the
that's-
smooth Hollywood
We
handsome
watched
guy.
a movie in Miami besides Morbius.
He's the
Nah,
we
you
didn't watch-
almost though. I think I went to take a nap.
We didn't even watch that movie. That movie was on for 2
Yo,
seconds.
that movie Morbius was ass, bro. Oh my god.
Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, George Clooney. There we go.
George Clooney from Dust Till Dawn. He was in.
Yeah,
Dust
yeah.
Till
He
Dawn.
was in
Y'all
that
saying a
movie
bunch of
too.
words that mean
They want to George Clooney their way through things, right? Just be all smooth and shit. But like they don't realize that you skipping steps, baby. Like you gotta you gotta do the thing that's like you gotta be able to fucking make eye contact with the receptionist at your job before you can just jump straight to being able to
Damn. That was a great point. What a great point. What a great way to put that.
That's like the thing that you're
Yeah.
most afraid of. You're like, oh, I don't want to do that because like,
You're trying to get to
Um,
level 4. You still on level 1 with the reception.
exactly. Being able to have a brief conversation with the receptionist will be
Sure.
perfect training for what you got to do later. So in real life, sometimes like if you want to be successful in this world, one of the things you're gonna have to learn how to do is you're gonna have to learn how to confront people. So maybe sometimes those little confrontations you want to avoid at work, some of them might be necessary. Sometimes, like you said, they're not necessary at all and they're not worth having. But there will be some moments where you gotta learn. And you gotta learn how to do it too. Cause like you can't just walk up to people like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, no, it's not. You can't be on some like super aggro shit trying to act like you're some college frat bro or anything.
Good.
But you could, but that's a quick way to lose your job and end up in jail.
It was more than just your job. Might end up needing some new teeth.
Oh yeah, that too. You gotta learn how to be able to confront people in non-violent manners. Like you just like, and sometimes there'll be moments where you have to confront people in a violent manner,
Yeah.
where you have no other choice. But most of the time, you're gonna have to do it in a non-violent manner, and these are one of the skills you're gonna have to pick up. I don't know, that's just that was kind of a tangent, but it's just something I thought was.
No, that was an excellent point, man. You got people that's aiming for these high,
Because they can't
trying to
focus.
achieve on these high levels, and they haven't achieved on the lower levels.
Yeah, like people out here talking about they want to run their own business, and they can't like they get
can't
into a
run their
brief
own
little
lives,
spat at
bro.
work. Yeah, they get into a brief little spat at work, and they're banged up about that shit the whole
Yeah.
week. They can't even look the person in the eyes. It's like, how the fuck are you gonna run a business if you can't even talk to someone at work about your problems? It's like, 'cause you're gonna have to do a lot of confrontation if you're starting a fucking business. Like
Mhm.
if you can't communicate, you cannot run a business. It's not happening. If you cannot communicate, you can't run a business. So if you're talking about you want to escape the fucking matrix, right? You want to escape the matrix. You want to be like Andrew Tate. but you can't even look at the receptionist when you're walking into your job, you're not running no business, bro. Go sit at your desk and continue doing what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's real shit. That's real shit, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why you just gotta that's another thing about like narrowing your focus. Like it's not just about finding the values that you care most about, but finding the parts of your life that are the most lacking. And it has to be a small list because you can't sit there and make a list of 300 things and you're like, you're
Yeah.
going to change all this stuff by the end of the year because you're only going to change 3 of them. And then you're going to reach the end of the year wanting to kill yourself because you're like, I only did 3 things. But like, it has to be like a small list, like maybe like 4 really important things that you think you want to improve in yourself. And then, like, you work on each of them at the time you need to work on them. Like, if you want to develop better communication skills, take a few months out of the year, focus exclusively on trying to get those communication skills. You can do the other things too, but maybe do them in like a tinier fashion. But for like those first few months, you're like, I'm gonna just try and become the best communicator I can. Like pick
Yeah.
up courses if you got to, talk to the fucking receptionist at your job about the game last night, talk to the fucking postman when he's walking past you in the hallway.
Yeah.
Talk to whoever you got to talk to.
Talk to
develop those
Paul, the
relationships.
guy you get your sandwiches from,
Yeah,
about how
yeah.
life's going.
Even I do that shit sometimes to keep myself like
Alive.
to keep myself alive. I will just start talking to random people. It's about random shit, and like sometimes it'll be weird. There have been moments where I did it and it did not go how I wanted it to go, but most of the time it goes pretty well. Like you'd be surprised at how easy it is to talk to people when you just try and do it. Like it's like they want to talk to you.
Yeah, most people will respond to, "Hey, how's it going?" Like they'll just respond. It's like, "Oh yeah, all right," and then you can say whatever the fuck you want after that.
Mhm.
Especially if it's something relatable, like, "Oh, you saw the Super Bowl last night?" You're like, "Oh yeah, no, but I saw the halftime show. I saw the commercials." And you're like, oh. Then there, boom, easy entryway. Even if you didn't watch the Super Bowl, you'd be like, "Yo, did you see the Super Bowl?" You're like, "Oh, I didn't get to catch it. What happened?" Just there it is.
Heck, that could even be a source of humor. I go, did you see it? No, that's what I was asking you.
Yeah.
That shit too. But I mean,
You got. No, I was gonna say, if you guys have any more thoughts on this topic, I had a hypothetical, but it could wait.
okay. Well, I'll say one more thing, then we'll go to the hypothetical so we can get the hell out of here. But another thing, like back to the topic of focusing and controlling your mind and narrowing your focus so you don't have as many distractions. As you start talking to people, one of the things you're going to encounter are there's going to be people who ramble. They're going to be people who talk a lot and they're not saying shit. Like I encountered that shit the other day. There was this woman at my job, right? I wasn't talking to her because one, I'm doing the stuff for the channels. I'm like focusing on like I'll get to work for like the first hour or two. I'm not really talking to anybody because I'll be focusing on what I need to do, right? I'll eat and I'll be sitting there like looking at analytics, that kind of stuff, scheduling the uploads. Oh shit.
What?
I actually remember that one of the uploads I wanted to schedule, I didn't do. Anyways,
Sorry about that.
scheduling
He
the,
ain't focused his
yeah,
mind, bro.
scheduling the uploads, that kind of stuff. And then I'll start talking to people. But then what happened is this woman, one of the people at the job said something to her, and bro, when that happened, when it was time to talk, she just kept yammering on, and it quickly became clear to me that she was saying nothing of value. Like not even like I don't think every conversation has to be super valuable, but it's like she was talking like that like fake spirituality shit that's like meaningless. It's like I'm like I'm sitting there listening to her, and I could not understand what the fuck she's trying to say. Like I'm trying to find the center point. And what made it even more annoying, and Ref could really relate to this because I remember Ghazi did this shit to him. Every time you would try to find what she's saying, like agree with her, that would not be the right thing. And she would start yammering on about something else. I was like, okay, what the fuck are you trying to say then? Like, what's like? It got to the point where I almost wanted to say that, where I was starting to get annoyed. So I just stopped talking. I was trying to ignore her because it was getting to the point where I was getting kind of angry. I was gonna be like, yo, what the fuck are you trying to say then? Like, because I tried like 23 times and each time I was wrong. What are you trying to say? But I tried to ignore her, and then even then, bro, trying to ignore her she keeps trying to get my attention. Like she keeps trying to like now she's asking questions, trying to get me to like, yo, this bitch, bro. I was like, you really gotta be careful who you talk to sometimes. Like if you're talking to someone and you notice their conversation is very trite and they're just yammering on and on, dead it right there. If you can already see it, like this is some Mort Goldman type motherfucker.
They don't make that exit easy though, man. Even if you try to dead it, they don't make it easy on you.
You just gotta be like Abba from Abba and Preach, man. Just walk away. Remember Preach was saying he does that?
I was saying he does that.
No, Preach said it. Preach is the first one who mentioned it.
Oh,
Preach
but
said,
I thought you were saying Preach is the one that walks away.
Oh no. Preach said that he would be that it was crazy to him. Like it seemed like some autism shit when he first saw it before he realized that it was useful. He said he'd be watching someone talking to Abba, and Abba would be looking at them, and Abba would just walk away. Like
One was wild.
Like,
I did that
leave.
once. I actually did that once. I remember I was in this place and I didn't want to be there, and some guy's talking to me. I look him dead in his soul. I turn around and walk out the building. I just walked outside. I was just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to talk to this person. I just left. It's
Yeah,
fucking
I'll
weird.
just stop talking. That's usually what I do. And usually they'll get the message. But I'll
was
never
drunk.
forget what that guy said to our boy. Where he was just like, you, sir, are an idiot. And he just walked away. You, sir,
hit him with the,
are an idiot.
Yeah, for someone to really just be like, just tell you that you're an idiot, and then just stop talking to you, you must have been a next level. Because like I've had people say, "Oh, you're stupid," and keep going. Nah, for them to be like, "Nah, I need to say this before I stop talking. You're just dumb."
I think he even said, "Have a nice day," and then he left. I think he said, "Have a nice day." I think he said, "You sir, an idiot. Have a nice day," and he just walked away. But
remember, I was watching that movie Neighbors with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. That shit was funny because I remember Zac Efron's character was dumb as fuck, and they were having like some college job fair where they could go to these tables and meet with recruiters. And the guy was like, "What's your GPA, bro?" He's like, it's like 2 point something. And he was like, "Have a nice day." He was like, "What does that mean?" It means you're too dumb. Have a nice day.
So what was your hypothetical, EJ?
All right. I didn't put it in the chat, but I thought of it like just now. If you bought tickets to watch your friend's live performance and they never show up, would you speak to them again?
I feel it would depend on the friend. Like if it was one of y'all, I would hit y'all up. Say it's like 10 minutes and you're supposed to go on. I would start texting you. It's like, yo, what's going on? Like what's going on? I would assume that something happened. But if it's like 30 minutes in and I see you posting a story that you at your house, I'm like, I will call you and be like, yo, you dead ass me? You dead ass? Like I paid money for this shit. If it's a mutual friend, like someone I don't know, that I'm just not gonna hit them up no more.
I mean, it depends. It also depends on the reasoning, like, because like if the person's like, I was just really fucking nervous, I couldn't do it, I'd probably be able to forgive him. I'm like, okay. If it was like some shit like Ray said, where he just didn't show up, like he just didn't give a fuck, that would kind of piss me off. It'd also be very weird. Like I'd be like, this is a toxic person. If I'm like, I can't really be around.
You don't even show up to your own shit.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's actually insane.
But then the other thing is, if it's a person who, like, let's say, I know this guy, he's trying to become a comedian. I go to his first show, he's too nervous. Okay. I do it again, he does the same shit. At that point, I'd either stop talking to him or never go to another show of his again.
He'd be like, yo, bro, I'm having my third show. This time I'm showing up. Like,
that's not that bad. He's showing up, but he's just nervous.
See, well, that's what he's saying. He's like, he doesn't show up because he was too nervous. He's like, he can't.
Oh, that's understandable, though. That's understandable.
That's what he's saying. He's like, the first time, you got to pass. The second time, you playing games.
Yeah, like you're overdoing it now. Like,
you're doing too much.
Time, you're gonna have to be my closest friend.
Do you actually get money back though? Like, especially if you paid for tickets?
The first time, no. Actually, no. I don't think I would ever ask for the money back because you can hold that. That was the price of our friendship right there.
Oh shit!
That was it.
Also, it's
I
like-
on my way out.
We talking $50 tickets. I might need to see that back, bro. I ain't gonna
Nah,
lie.
you can hold that. That
They're
$50
just gonna
was
say
worth it,
no.
bro.
They're just gonna say no, and you just arguing with them for no fucking reason.
Bro, what? All right, EJ, how about this? They give it back. You forgive them? Like everything good now?
That's a good question. Not gonna lie.
Everything
Because what
good?
if they text you like a lengthy apology and then cash app you the bread?
I mean, that shows integrity.
Yeah, that's
Integrity.
different. Like I feel like,
That's
it's
different.
pretty-
That's
if I didn't have to
different.
bring it up to them, I didn't bring it up. That's the one thing.
Woo,
If I
that's
brought it
kinda-
up to them and then they did it, now I'm still looking at them funny, bro. I'm
You're
looking
not
at
going
you
to
funny.
another show, but you would take him back as a friend.
Yeah, it's probably one of those situations. Like, yeah, I'm not going to another show, bro. But we can still chat on Discord, I guess.
Leave tonight?
Not tonight, though. Not tonight. Maybe next week.
That's that.
or you hit them with the I'll be there, and you just don't show.
Yo, I'll never forget when I did that to that girl, bro.
Oh yeah.
She's like, "Oh, tell me about the event." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe I'll show up," knowing full well I'm not showing up.
Man, that must be a great feeling. Like when you cancel on somebody that canceled on you. Woo. That's a great feeling. I gotta feel
Or you
good.
double booking when you already had the second plan lined up. You already knew. Twice that's happened to me, and both times I did feel godlike. It was at one time with the girl. Told her I'm going to be at the barcade. She never showed up, but I was meeting you guys at the barcade, so I didn't give a fuck. I was still happy, and we just ended up sliding that night anyway. So her not showing up allowed me to slide, right? And another time when that girl showed up, I think that was when I was with Ray and his friend, and that person didn't show up.
She showed up
Like,
an
they
hour
did show
late,
up.
bro.
They showed up like an
And
hour.
then she was mad at this
Hour.
man because he went and did something else. It's like, yo, bro, you wanted him to be standing around with his dick up his like, yo, come on, what did you want him to do?
It
That's
was like
crazy.
foolish.
And I was like, "Oh, we could still hang out." And her moody ass was like, "No," and she went back home. Took
That's
like
the
an
type
hour.
That's the type of girl to have you waiting at a restaurant like for a whole good hour. The waiter keep coming back like, you want to order, son?
Bro,
I should go show up, bro.
imagine in truth she never showed up. Imagine in truth she never showed up. She was just trying to see where you at.
No way. I could hear her huffing and puffing.
Yeah,
She
you
Oh,
starving
she
for a
rushed?
good hour. She rushing like, oh, I'm so sorry. Bitch, I ain't even hungry no more.
He wasn't. He was eating me.
Yeah, I was already eating. I was eating and drinking. I was enjoying
Because
myself.
bro, I drove him down there. We're chilling in the car, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not in a rush. We chatting in the car, and then like 30 minutes pass. I'm just like, all right, now I'm like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Like it's 30
I think
minutes.
she arrived over an hour late. Like
Yeah, it was over an hour late. We had discussed where to go, drove to one place, decided not to go there, drove to a different place, got out the car, walked to the other place. Yo, we did a lot in the time that she didn't show up,
front
bro.
flips, kick flips.
Kick
Still didn't
flips.
show.
He was skateboarding.
Bro, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And then we
Might
had
even
pretty
have
good
an
food.
apology.
We had pretty good
If a
food.
girl didn't show up to a date and apologize, are you going on another date with her?
That's
Probably
a
not.
great question.
Right now.
I
It
feel
depends,
like-
but these is all based on what the apology is and everything.
Yeah, I feel like it really depends on the excuse. If it's like, yeah, I was gonna head out and see you, but my mom collapsed. Respectable.
I'm a jerk. Yeah, I'm a jerk.
Yeah,
by the way.
respectable.
Yeah.
Like, if she
Are
was
you
just
a
like,
jerk?
oh man, I really just wasn't feeling it. It's like, okay, that's fair, bro. I ain't feeling you no more. Like,
I ain't
I'll catch you
feeling
later.
I don't even feel. I'm not even feeling like responding to this message.
Yeah, I don't even know if I would respond to some shit like, yeah, I wasn't feeling it, bro. Especially like if I went to the place and like say it was a restaurant, I went to the place, sat down, which I would never go into a restaurant and get a table before the other person shows up. So I could never be in that
That's
situation.
so sad, bro.
People end up
That's
doing
so sad. That's
What?
so
Like,
sad.
is it a thing where, because like every time I've gone on a date or about to go on a date with somebody, I verify that we're still on every time.
Yeah, I'll
I
hit
do
them
the
as
same
like, yeah, so we're meeting today, right? Like I was
Yeah.
about to
But
get
you
ready,
can
about to leave
verify
my
who you
house.
want.
Wait,
She's
so
still
do-
there.
What I'm wondering though is when these people try to verify, does the person lie?
Yeah,
Say they're still
they
show
were like, yeah,
They
we're still
lied.
going, and then
Okay.
they.
Okay.
But to go to the restaurant, sit down at the restaurant, order like a meal
Think
for
of a
both of you
space.
and do all that shit. It's
Yeah.
like, how did you get that far without the other person showing? I could not get that far without the other person showing up, bro.
You'd be waiting in your car or something, right?
I'd be waiting in my car. I'd be waiting outside. I'd just be anywhere but inside the
See,
restaurant.
depending, but the problem with restaurants too, like depending on like how prestigious it may be, you might have to go in and take
Oh,
a
you might have a
booth.
reservation.
No, yeah, you just have a
Yeah.
reservation. I will reserve a seat, but I'm not going inside
Nah, you
and
should
sitting
not
down,
be
bro.
reserving a restaurant for anyone who isn't your ride or die.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
So if you
Don't
don't
say
have a
like reserving
reservation,
reserving is like some big thing. I can reserve a seat at a restaurant right now. Like that's just free. One, two.
yeah, it is.
It's not anything.
But we're
Hell,
talking like fancy restaurants.
now
Yeah,
you
like
can
5-star
you
Michelin
can
set.
reserve a seat at fucking Red Lobster. You can reserve a seat
You
at
could.
Applebee's, my nigga.
Like,
Like
I'm saying,
good.
like, if you're out here reserving seats at fancy restaurants for a random bitch you met on the internet, something's
I
wrong.
mean, yeah, if you go into a 5-star restaurant and reserving a seat for a first date, you in a different tax bracket, bro. You in a different
gotta,
tax
like,
bracket. You
yeah.
got a
You're
different type of
retarded.
mentality.
You're in a retarded tax bracket.
Cause like I'm not
Not doing that. Yeah.
even if I had the money, I couldn't see this like just taking
Justify.
someone I don't know to somewhere really expensive. Because like if I invite you somewhere, I'm gonna pay. That's just how I invited you to a really fancy place. I'm gonna pay. Because like I don't want to put that on you. It's like, yeah, this place serves $500 appetizers. You good on that? Like that's crazy.
You ordered the steak. I told you that shit was expensive.
It's
She's like, I just lost my job. Like, I don't know why you go on dates then if you lost your job. You should
yeah,
have
bro.
a
You
job.
can't afford to be dating if you broke.
I
It's
heard
funny.
a guy,
It's funny. We're making jokes about this shit, but this is really what they say.
really be
This
happening.
is what the
Now,
other side be saying, bro.
I heard a guy say this about his wife on this podcast. He was saying that he took her out. I think it was a fancy restaurant. Was it? It might have been a fancy restaurant. Yeah, because the bill ended up being expensive. And he was saying that when like he took her out on his date, and the bill came, like he made her pay the whole bill. And I think the bill came out to like $250.
That's it.
And yeah, it came out to like $250 between them two. And so, all right, this is the rest of the story. I don't know if this is true. This sounds badass though. I ain't gonna lie. So he made her pay for it, right? And she didn't have no complaints, no issues. She paid it, right? He walked her back to her car. Before she got in her car, he took out all the money and then gave her $250 and then some. And then the bill, I think he gave her like $500. And he was like, I just want to see what you was about. If you can't come out here and pay for your own food, you can't be fucking with no nigga like me.
But they're married? Question mark. But they're married.
They're married now. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
how
they're
that
married
happened.
now. Okay, because
Yeah.
I thought they were married already. That's why I was like,
No,
what a
no,
goofy thing to do to your wife.
He's a
Like,
ball player, right?
No, he used to rap. He used to be on tour with like Lil Wayne. His name is Gilly the Kid.
So you can't really like. She probably knew, you know.
Nah,
Yeah,
but he
this is-
wasn't. I don't know. It must have been early days of his career. I don't think he was like. He was still bubbling, probably maybe.
Because I was gonna say that is the perfect test. Like you really know
That's-
you're dealing with a
Okay,
quality
he was
person.
saying what you were saying. Like you got no business fucking with a nigga like me. You can't come out and pay for your own food. Like got no business.
Yeah, you found a quality person if she's able to do that. I mean, that's part of why one of the people I was talking to most recently, I decided to to hang out with them again because I noticed they were still talking to me, even though I wasn't doing anything or trying to like in any way. I was like, this person must be cool or at least actually like. me.
imagine it's
I
part of
mean,
this long con. He's like, I'm gonna make him fall in love with me. They'll break his heart.
I thought about that because
Yeah.
Because here's a funny thing, right? I mentioned to him, oh, let's hang out again, right? And then like here's what they said to me was funny, and I was like, oh, it's just women being women. She's like, oh, I can probably do Saturday, but maybe for a few hours. I'm looking at this like, come on, let's not do this.
You either want to do this or not, man.
Yeah, I mean, no, she said she would, but the way she phrased it, it's the part that I found funny. She
You
doesn't
and
want to come off-
making herself sound busy. She wasn't busy.
Yeah. That's the part I found so funny.
She
Because I was
busy,
like,
bro.
what if I ask her and she's just like, nah, and it never talks to me again? I'm like, oh, so that's what she was trying to do, trying to get me.
They got a way of making you.
Bro, that would
feel
have been hilarious
not
though.
wanted.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, I would have died of laughter if she did that to me.
Would have done guided you, bro.
They got a way of making you feel unwanted, son, with the phrasing. Like, boy, son, you just say you want to go. Like, ain't nothing wrong with wanting me, bro. Like, I want you to want me. The fuck?
Nah, they can't show that kind of weakness, bro.
No, it's just
A girl's done that to me before, but then women are so fucking weird. I remember one time I was saying to a girl, I was like, what did I say? It was something like, I was thinking we could do this. And she's like, oh, you was thinking? Like, she wanted me to say it outright.
Oh
So I
yes,
said,
yes. But then they will say, "Oh, I was thinking." They'll say the same phrase. It gives
Yeah.
insight into the way that they think. So it's like, oh, so the way you said it, that's what you meant then, bro. People
Yeah, the
tell
way
on
you said
themselves,
that-
bro.
the way you said that was funny. Like, it gives insight. Like, the way it gives insight. Like, you know, you're about to
Nah,
start teaching a class.
the advertising the product.
you
Gives insight,
fucking
right?
whiteboard, right?
Yeah, Rachel walks into the classroom, writes Rizology on the board.
Rizology,
Rizology.
Riz 101.
Or like that fucking meme, Rizology 101. Or like that fucking meme. So in conclusion, it's like in conclusion, this is what they mean.
But
Man, that meme's
Yeah.
hilarious.
you want to know?
But anyway.
Nah. One last thing before we actually wrap. This is actually just a throwaway statement. Nothing to do nothing.
Yeah.
Get yourself a whiteboard. The most productive I ever was when I had a
wanna
whiteboard on my
write it.
wall. Like me and the homie, we had like an extra room in the house when we were in college, right? We fucking threw up a fucking cheap ass whiteboard on the wall. So whenever we did anything, we literally just grabbed the marker, just started writing up like ideas, math equations, whatever the fuck you wanted to write down, tic-tac-toe, whatever. Just write that shit on the wall. Bro, I'm telling you, because we were sitting there on the computer chatting, and if we were ever talking about something, we got in discussion, he was like, let me explain this to you. He would just start writing on the fucking wall. It was great. It was perfect.
It makes you seem brighter than you are, bro. Get away.
Good. He's on the boards. So in conclusion, the phrase is not "I took a shower." It's "I washed my ass."
I mean,
It's crazy when I said I'm about to wash it. He looked at me crazy for saying that.
It was so funny.
But if I wrote it on the whiteboard, I would have gained ultimate respect.
Stream didn't get to see this, but it was funny because it was like after stream, fucking this would be great behind the scenes content. It was like 30, 40 minutes of us discussing whether or not you got to tell somebody you're going to wash your ass. That shit was so
I was
funny.
asking for confirmation. It was just more of like, fuck it. Like, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. I just felt like saying it.
yeah, you don't gotta be embarrassed about it, but I also don't need to hear about it, you know? Because now it puts this mental image in my head. And I'm like, now I'm thinking,
Damn, why are you thinking that?
bro, that's just how I work, bro. Like if you say the certain phrase, I'm
That's how
like,
you
shit,
work?
why did you say that
Thinking of man
phrase? What?
Thinking a man ass. That's how you work? All right.
Look, man, he's the one who brought it up.
That's how you work. That's how you...
It's just like someone's like, oh, bro, why'd you do that? It's not even like, oh man, now I like lost my lunch. It's like now I'm down this rabbit hole of being like,
Nah, Ray, fire for that. Fire for that.
Take it as an invitation.
now I'm
Go
wondering,
do the
it's like,
same.
what? So like he don't wash the back of his knees? He just washed his ass, bro?
Come in the shower, wash your two cheeks, and just get right back out. They only so that would so if someone went in the shower and they're only in there for a minute, then now you know is what they were doing.
Bro,
They're
I've
washing
actually experienced that. I think it was like when I was younger, like one of my siblings really went in the shower for like 2 minutes. And I was like, no, you didn't shower. They're like, no, I'm done. I was
He
like,
just said no.
nah, then I was like, you did not shower, bro.
They
There's
took
no
2
way.
minutes and washed-
He said no.
It's like
They did a
it
minute-
takes that long for the water to heat up, bro. Like you're not
You
done.
understand. You don't understand. They did a minute per cheek. They only did
Just
each
the cheeks,
cheek.
bro.
Yeah, just the cheeks. It's the most important part. It's the most- But
Yo,
what's
now
the
we're
saying?
too off the sauce now. We're too off the
Yeah,
sauce.
we go-
One more thing before we go. This is related to washing your ass. I thought that was funny.
Extended programming.
Well, 2 things. First thing is I remember someone was telling me a story about how they would, when their mom would tell them to go take a shower, they would just walk in there and turn the shower off and not get inside of it.
It's in the bathroom for like 10 minutes, right? And they get out.
They would just
You know, I
stand in
think
the
I did that
bathroom.
once. I think I did that once when I was a kid. I don't even know what possessed me to do that shit.
And they said they got caught. They got caught. The person walked in and saw them just standing there. It'd be
I'm
like
a-
10 minutes.
I was about to say, how did they catch him, bro? Because they stay.
No, they just
Still
open
stay?
the shower, open the bathroom. When you're a kid, is that your parents aren't worried about seeing you naked. So I guess they suspected them.
True.
They opened it, saw them just standing there and beat their ass. And it made them take the shower.
No, the way I got caught was my mom went in the shower after me and grabbed my washcloth and was like, "Oh, so you took a shower?" I was like, "Yeah, I took a shower." I was like, "You sure?" I was like, "Huh?" And why is this dry? And I was like, I had to wear.
He's the one. Nah.
I was like, "Oh fuck!" I could not think of anything to come. I was done. I was done, bro.
She
There was
packed
a-
you up with that. She packed you
What I
up.
was gonna say though is I remember there was a guy I used to work with, and someone told me that he didn't wash his hands and he go to the bathroom, and they told me what he did. They said he would walk up to the thing, turn.
He's going
No,
out
the
his
way
way
he
to
told
not
me
wash his hands too. Is
The
wild.
way he told me the shit was so funny. Because like he'd go take a piss, come out the stall. They said what made them first suspicious is he would walk up to the sink and he'd be there for like a second. He'd be there mad fast and he'd leave the bathroom. And the first few times he looked and they're just like they're like, wait, no, maybe I just like maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But then one day they literally looked over and saw what he did. And he would just put like his fingertips, his 2 fingertips under the water,
Yeah.
like real fast, and then he would just leave. And then I didn't believe him. Okay, I'm not gonna say I didn't believe him, but it
It
didn't.
was more like a no way type of thing, right?
Yeah,
Where you're just like,
yeah, it was like a
I
no
gotta
way
see
kind
it,
of
bro.
thing.
I gotta see it.
But it didn't hit until I saw it for myself. Or one day I was in the bathroom, I look over and see the nigga do that. He's like, and he's going. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, it was wetting his fingernails. That's crazy.
Anyway,
That's
say the thing. Let's get out of here, bro.
Anyways, remember, kids, wash your fucking hands. You know,
And your
wash
ass.
Yeah, wash your hands and your ass.
And the back
And
of your
don't-
knees.
Yeah, guys, don't be like Ray and leave your thing dry.
My
Your parents can
washcloth.
catch you. Leave your washcloth dry. Your parents can catch you. That's the first thing they're gonna check. Or your skin. That's another thing. I used to get I would come out the shower and my mom would be trying to accuse me of not. She'd be like, "Oh, why you look dry? Why you look dry?" I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" It's like I don't know. I'm dry. What do you want from me? I'd be like, I'm not even dry. Like, feel me. And she'd like, feel me. And parents are so fucking annoying sometimes. But anyways,
Duck showers, man. Forgot it.
catch you same bad place, same bad catch you same bad place, same bad time. Wash your ass.